Welcome in, everybody. My name is RickLovesBacon here with my buddy ADJMass, and today we're going to talk about calling out lurkers and looking at your numbers, especially while streaming, and why it's a bad idea. Adj, do you ever look at your numbers when you're streaming?
I am sad to say that I have. Until actually just recently, there was a number that I couldn't figure out how to get rid of. It was sitting in OBS under my stream elements activity feed. I couldn't figure out how to get rid of the number. So the number was always showing. And when the number shows, my eyes wander and I can't help but look at the number in the corner of my OBS, but I have since found out how to get rid of that number, so I am no longer looking at my numbers.
So now that you're no longer looking at your numbers, how does that make you feel?
Much better. Without being able to see my number, I don't worry about the fluctuation in that number, so when I see the number dip, I'm no longer like, what did I just do to make somebody leave? I feel like I put on a better show because I'm not worried about that number going up and down. Do you have your numbers showing?
No, but I used to a very, very long time ago. I remember somebody once said, never look at your numbers while streaming. And I never really understood it, but then I noticed a change in my attitude. When I would have higher numbers, I would be a little bit more energetic and happy and more willing to be putting on a bit of a show. But as soon as those numbers dipped, then I would just be quieter, wouldn't be as energetic, maybe even a little bit, bummed at the fact that there weren't as many people watching me anymore.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's the experience I have whenever my numbers are showing. I look at it and I see a number lower than what it previously was, and I get a little discouraged. But if the number's higher, I get a little bit more motivated to put on a bit more of a show.
And you see people on streams doing this. They say they don't care about their numbers, but yet when they change the game, or when they say, okay, I'm going to turn off the face cam, or whatever they do that changes the dynamic of their stream, oh, but my numbers dipped, but it doesn't matter. You obviously see a switch in attitude there, or demeanor, because you automatically can tell, yeah, they're not as happy as they were before they switched games.
Also, when you see the number in your viewer number in chat or your dashboard or in OBS or what have you, wherever the number is displaying for you, and you have a dead chat, you're more willing to pull up your viewer list and start calling out lurkers because you have a non-active chat.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of doing that.
Don't be this guy.
Yo, Commander Root, Lurks, I see you guys in chat. I'm not going to start this game until you guys say something. I always see you there, but you never say anything. I've done it before whenever, I'll do a stream and nobody's talking, and then I will look at my chat list and automatically call somebody out, and then all of a sudden, as soon as I call that person out, they dip. And you know what? I've done the same thing. I've had friends tell me, hey, I saw you in my chat. I called you out, and then next thing you know, you left. And you know what? I honestly didn't even realize I did that. But since they're friends, they were like, hey, this is what happened. You left.
It's oftentimes that I'll go into some of my friends' streams and kind of hang out and support the stream from like a distance. Maybe I'm doing something at that time, but I'm at my computer, so I can pull up a friend's stream and have it up. This has happened to me before, where I'm sitting in the friend's stream and listening, but not chatting, and I've been called out. I get called out, and it one distracts me from whatever I'm working on at the time, and two, kind of makes me feel a little awkward. Like, I didn't say anything. How do you know I'm here, kind of thing. So in the situation of I'm working on something and I just happen to have a stream up, and when I get called out, I have to leave because I'm like, hey, I'm trying to focus on something, And if they're going to sit there and talk to me, not talk with me, talk to me about chatting, I'm just going to leave because I have things I got to do.
So when do you think numbers are actually important?
To go back on your question that you originally asked me, do I look at my numbers? Yes, but not while streaming. I look at my numbers as an analytics as a whole, weekly and monthly. So that way I can see the overall trend of my viewership, my followership, and of my concurrent viewership and my followership and chat activity throughout the week and the month. And then I can reflect on that week and month and be like, what did I do on these streams, or what did I do this week? What did I do this month? What's different? Did it hurt me? Did it help me? Etc.
So I think it's been probably a couple years now since I stopped looking at my numbers, because your dashboard gives you an option to block all those numbers. So I started doing that. And the only time I actually ever started paying attention to my numbers is whenever I would apply for a video game key. Would I qualify for this game? Or you and I have broadcasted from several conventions. And that's one of the things when you apply to broadcast at a convention, whether it be something like South by Southwest Gaming, whether it be PAX, whether it be, DreamHack, the one thing they ask for is your numbers. And that's the only time I have ever looked at my numbers. Now, the one reason I think it's a bad idea to look at your numbers is because your numbers aren't right. Like that viewership number that's showing on your dashboard doesn't reflect the people that are actually hanging out in your chat.
Yeah, exactly. The number that shows up on your dashboard or in OBS or wherever you look at your numbers, that is delayed, right? So I was watching I believe I was watching a YouTube video, and they discussed numbers, and even the big streamers, it looks like they sit at a very high number and they stay there, but viewers are constantly leaving and joining at this. Viewers are constantly leaving and joining all of the time. It's just the number never really changes because of the delay. So say 10 viewers join and 5 leave, and then 15 join and 10 leave, or other random numbers. The number stays relatively the same when you get to those higher numbers, but the number is delayed, and that's why it stays around the same. And when you are streaming to say 5 to 10 people, that number looks like it drops or fluctuates so much more because the digit can go from single to double and then back to singles. But if you look at analytics after your stream, you will see the number of views of your channel, and that is the unique views of that stream, right? So that number is constantly changing for your entire stream. It's going up and down, and you're getting the delayed number. So when you're watching that number and you see it dip down, you could actually have more viewers than that number says. And now you're discouraged because you think you are streaming to less people when you are actually streaming to more.
Yeah, and actually, you and I know people that are community managers in the gaming industry, and they've told us that when they vet somebody for a new game that they want them to showcase or anything like that, that they don't even actually look at Twitch's numbers. They look at other websites to get better analytical numbers, because in reality, the Twitch numbers are sometimes much less than what they actually really are, like you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. So when I look at my analytics, I touched on this when I was interviewing with Technical Tech on his YouTube channel. I touched on this a little bit in that interview, where I get 4 to 5 emails after every single stream. One is Twitch, one is Restream, one is Stream Elements, and another is Streamlabs. I think I have another one that sits out there. I don't remember it off the top of my head. But if you look at those 4 emails, the number is different in every single one of them. So the concurrent viewership, the max viewership, the number of follows, it can vary between different platforms. And that's like what you were saying. That's why community managers and stuff, they look at other platforms. They don't look at Twitch's numbers because they're so unreliable.
So the moral of the story is stop looking at your numbers. They don't matter. Just have fun and stream and pretend you're streaming to a lot of people.
Exactly. One of the things I set out to do a couple years ago when I was having a hard time streaming, my numbers were lower, and I wasn't finding the motivation to stream anymore, is I sat down and looked introspectively and thought, why am I streaming? What is my goal with streaming? Why am I here? What am I doing? Why do numbers matter to me? And with that introspection, I sat down and figured out, like, when I set out to start streaming, however many years ago at this point, 4 or 5 or whatever, I set out to make friends. I didn't set out to make money or anything like that. And so my mindset had changed from I need big numbers to make lots of money to if I stream to the people that are in my chat, I'm going to put on a better show for them. And they're the ones that are showing me support. If anybody else new shows up, fantastic. I hope they have a great time and I hope they stick around. But those solid regulars that show up to every single stream or majority of the streams, however many streams they can make it to, I stream for them, knowing that there are people watching. There are people that actively watch my stream as much as they possibly can because they get some sort of enjoyment from it. And so when I shifted that mindset, I started to have more fun with streaming because I stopped looking at my numbers. When I started streaming for the people that were in my channel, I was able to stop looking at my numbers because at that point it didn't matter. And this also touches on our previous videos where if you don't stop talking and you're putting on a show, the people will come. Whether you have an active chat or an inactive chat, if you can talk to yourself or just talk out loud while streaming, those people will start showing up. They'll be entertained. They might not chat, but they'll stick around. If you found this discussion helpful, go ahead and post a comment down below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notifications so that you are notified the next time Rick and I upload a video. The next video will be uploaded on RickLovesBacon's channel, so be sure you're subscribed on both my channel as well as Rick's. If you would like to discuss these topics or any future topics live on stream, go ahead and follow us on Twitch. Links down in the description, and we'll see you next time.
Are you live?
I'm not live. I'm recording.
You're recording. Okay, you're good. Okay, good.
I hope we're not live.
That would be awkward.
It's going to happen to us one of these times. I'm sure it will.